Welcome back to the channel, folks. Hopefully, everybody's having a great weekend. It's Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots 2 channel, if you don't already know. Got several great clips I want to bring to y'all today, a little bit of information. Got some reading to do, got my goggles on. Just want to let y'all know I got one main theme here today with most of these videos and video clips. Um, we're being lied to, and that's pretty apparent at this point by the Democrat Party, by the media, by every known entity, including Wikipedia, Snopes, Alexa. They're working it from every angle they can to at least filter the information when you're trying to Google something, things of that nature. There's no doubt about it. They've affected the search engines and so many things we probably don't realize at this point. Hopefully, they're not manipulating the election system with the artificial intelligence. That's one of the things I do worry about. I do see, and I'll show you with the chart here in a little bit, that the ballot chasing on the Republican side in at least three of the swing states has done great things in just this last news cycle since the 2020, or since the 2020 and the 2024. I mean, we've got 5, 10, 15% difference in the amount of registered Republicans versus Democrats that are being registered as far as the actual number counts. Republicans are registering more and more and more. It doesn't look like the Democrats are doing the ballot harvesting thing as hard as they have been in the past in 2020. I'm glad that some states have changed the rules as far as the mail-in ballots and things, but we still got to worry about the illegal votes and the overseas vote that the Democrats are already trying some shenanigans on. We'll get into that tomorrow, just because I don't know the full scoop on that at the moment. It's a pretty breaking news story, but it's definitely pretty messy. The Democrats are going to do anything they can to squeeze out a vote from every vector they can. Just the facts, folks. But more than this being about elections, this is about manipulating information to subvert the truth about each candidate because of the election, and that's the bottom line here. Um, I know we don't really need reminders that the media lies to us, but if you stick around to the end, folks, I've got a hell of a list of just a handful of the things that we've been lied to about in the last 4 years. All right, folks, check out this video. We'll watch a little bit of it, and it's just some of the things they lied to us about. This is the fake news in real time lying.
CNN edited a video to make it appear as though Trump impatiently dumped a box of fish food into the water in Japan. The full video showed Trump had simply followed the lead of Japan's prime minister. In June 2017, NBC News reported that Russian President Putin said he had compromising information about Trump. Actually, Putin said the opposite.
Do you have something damaging on our president?
Well, this is just another load of nonsense. Where would we get this information?
The New York Times and CNN shared a story with photos of immigrant children in cages. It turns out the photos were from 2014 during.
So we've done seen the Russia collusion hoax and the kids in cages hoax. This is just to name a few right off the bat.
Obama administration. In November 2019, Newsweek falsely reported that President Trump was spending Thanksgiving golfing in Florida. He was actually in Afghanistan serving dinner to U.S. troops.
Damn.
Good morning. CBS aired a story in March of 2020, supposedly showing a New York hospital crowded with patients.
It's all hands on deck in America's hospitals.
It was actually filed tape from Italy. A week later, CBS News mistakenly used the Italy video again.
It wasn't a mistake, folks, but you see what's going on here, folks. They have lied so much for so long to so many. There's an expression, I may chop it up the wrong, I may butcher the message, but there's a statement out there that says something to the effect of you can lie to some of the people some of the time, but you can't lie to all of the people all of the time, because at one point you lose total credibility, and that's where we're at in this country. You either believe the mainstream media or you know they're lying, and that's all there is. Everything else in between is just noise. Most people are not in the gray area anymore. They're either on team mainstream media, sucking up the lies and believing every word of it, or they're like like you folks, looking for other sources of media because the truth is out there. It's just not on local television, and that's just a fact, folks. Like I said, I got several clips here I want to bring to y'all today, so stick around. We'll try not to make this video too terribly long. I know everybody's got a busy schedule, but this was spotted in Japan. Even with all the fake news media dumping on us over here, censoring us over here, trying to keep the truth suppressed over here, lying day and night, uh, especially about policies involving Trump and Kamala. They're saying she's got policies, and they're saying Trump's got horrible policies. And truth be known, Trump's got transparency throughout his Agenda 47, while Kamala Harris is screaming his agenda is called Project 2025, while she actually has not spoken uh, at all about her so-called policies. And if they have anything to do with Biden policies or Obama policies, this country's screwed. And that's why she's afraid to speak about it, because she knows the American people don't agree with her sentiment on what's going on. But here we've got the Japanese know they must not be getting the same amount of propaganda we are, or maybe they've got their um, rose-colored glasses off and they can see the writing is on the wall. They can see the truth. They can see that Trump is the rightful president. And these folks in Japan, not everybody in Japan, I'm sure, but these folks in Japan are having a parade. It looks like uh, just in support of Trump. And what are they saying? Fight, fight, fight. I love it. I love it, folks. I just thought I'd share this one with you. People across the world know what's really going on, even though mainstream media is propagating the propaganda. Did y'all see that? Trump had fire in his eyes. Check it out. Did y'all catch that? I love it. I love it. I think that's good stuff, folks. I ain't mad at you. Now, this guy is a channel that I've been recommended to follow, and I will be doing so just because of the great service he is providing for this country. We know Georgia is one of those places they are going to do their best to swing the state blue by any means necessary. While 6 or 7 other states, as a minimum, they're going to do the same. They're going to try some kind of every angle they can uh, to get an advantage in the election, whether it be through the machines, through the paper ballots, through the illegals voting, through uh, out of state, overseas voting. It's going to be a little bit of everything. They're going to pepper us like they did last time with every option they can think of. Too cheap. We know this is true. But this guy here at mad underscore liberals. That's the channel at mad underscore liberals. You see it right up here at the top. Uh, if you do get on Twitter, go follow this guy. He's going to have some information coming out that we're going to need to know come Georgia election election time. Says this guy says I just bought a full system dedicated to examining all of Georgia's 2024 ballots. I'll be able to run 2 counties simultaneously and get the analysis done even faster, starting the day after the ballots are released. I've already done 7 primaries so far, and the software is up and ready to go. So this guy is going to be doing, I guess, fact checking on the ballots. Uh, I'm under the impression that the ballots will be are public record once they've been cast, and at that point he'll be able to do his own accounting through his machines, and maybe even tell us who won before ABC, NBC, or CBS reports it. Who really knows? But I'll definitely be following this guy, especially the day of the election. And actually, I'm going to start following it a little closer now because early voting has already started in some states, and it won't be long when we'll actually start getting the beginning of our numbers coming in. Uh, just a week or two away, just a couple of weeks away, we'll start learning things, folks, about the selection. This guy's got his eye on the ball in Georgia with 2 pieces of technology that he just bought to make it happen. We need more people like this willing to put in a little extra to ensure our comfortability with how this election was run. And we already know we're not comfortable with how the election was run last time. And so we need every man and woman that we can get organized to register people to vote, to be poll workers. Uh, if you're an attorney, that's a great volunteering service you can do for the RNC to help fight litigation against these Mark Elias types. But you could even do this if you have two computers and the right software and the know-how. You could do this in every state. Be great to see, folks. Maybe this will catch on. Maybe other folks will do just what this guy is doing. Give us results in real time. That may be different results than we get from the state itself. Uh, so that will be interesting to watch. Now it's just in breaking news, Pennsylvania, where Scott Pressler's doing all his trying to get out the vote, and Pennsylvania, Florida, and North Carolina have all seen rightward trends in mail-in voting requests compared to the same point in 2020. That's great. It means the Republicans are asking for mail-in ballot requests in these states that you are allowed to do it through the mail, and the numbers are swinging in the Republican favor. It shows about 10% jump for the Republicans, or 10%. Let me read it here. Percentages along with x-axis indicate the Democrats' mail-in request advantage over the Republicans. Comparisons to September 2020. You know how many mail-in ballots went out in 2020. We all know how that happened, and so this is at least down by 10% in Florida. It's down by, it looks like, about 15% in North Carolina, and this is down by about 10% in Pennsylvania. And a lot of this, the reason this is because we're getting more GOP people from the Republican Party registered to vote, and I believe we got more harvesting going on, which is a good thing on our side. We got people actually out there trying to knock on doors and get people motivated and registered to vote. But we've got a better message. We got better policies, and I think a lot of the Democrats are just not too enthused this year, and I have to believe that. I believe a lot of them won't show up because they don't like Kamala. The old guard of the Democrat Party, the people that are 70, 80 years old that are still voting because they're lifelong Democrats, a lot of them are probably going to sit this one out because they can't stand Kamala. Just my thoughts. But here's three great, lots of information. In each and every state is a battleground already with the litigation, with the fight over mail-in ballots, over the fight over transparency on the ballots, the proof of citizenship, how to clean up the voter rolls. Every state right now is literally fighting tooth and nail, good versus evil, trying to fix this while we're being stonewalled. Even Stephen Miller is suing 15 counties right now, just trying to get transparency here in Texas. Now let's go ahead and get into some other things. But that is good news, folks. The Democrats' voter registration is down. Now, this here is an example of somebody trying to put out some fake news. And Megyn Kelly was not here, and this was great. This was actually on a panel. Megyn Kelly was on with, I think it was, I won't even go there. I forget this guy's name. But check it out.
You look
folks.
at the 5 cases, 6 months from now, a year from now.
All right, here we go. Turn the volume
Trial.
on.
What do you mean he's guilty of 3 so far?
We look at the 5 cases, 6 months from now, a year from now. Let's assume all 5 of them go to trial. He's guilty of 3 so far.
Wait, what do you mean he's guilty of 3 so far?
Well, he's been convicted of 3. Sorry.
What do you mean? No, he hasn't.
I love this. Eugene Carroll was guilty.
That was not a conviction. That was a civil case.
Okay, well, yes, so that's what I'm talking about. So that
okay, but there's a big difference.
It's still he was convicted. He was guilty of that. He got settlement. In the Trump organization, they're guilty there. Okay?
Again, with civil, libel.
Yes, of course. But these are the cases we're talking about. And in a third one,
she's a lawyer, right?
Yeah, of course. And in a third one, I'm just talking about the 5 cases. Yes, some are civil, obviously, and some are not. Some are criminal. But if we look at all 5 cases,
you said 3 convictions. Now you're walking it back.
I'm not walking it back. There's 3 in which he was.
You should walk it back.
Okay,
I'm
guys,
so glad Megyn is here.
Of the 5, 3 of them, he's either guilty or
he got a bad result.
Yeah, got a bad result. There are 2 more. If he is found guilty of those 2 more, Megyn, and 5 of 5, he had a bad result. Way to frame it. Will you chalk all 5 up in your mind to 5 different jurisdictions, 5 different prosecutors, 5 different juries and or judges, all conspiring to get him?
100%.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. That's all I wanted to hear your answer to. 5 of 5 different jurisdictions. Yeah. You think it's all lawfare?
E. Jean Carroll, they changed the law so that she could bring a civil lawsuit against him, and she did. New York went 87% for Joe Biden. That fix was in right from the start. The fraud trial that Letitia James brought against him has never been brought. There's no victims. The banks who were involved said, we didn't lose a penny. What are we doing here? We weren't damaged. Nobody was complaining except Tish James, who ran for office saying, I will get him. Then you have Alvin Bragg, who's a George Soros-funded prosecutor who doesn't like to prosecute any crime in New York City, where I lived for 17 years, except if your name is Donald Trump. Let's go down to Georgia, where Fani Willis and Nathan Wade couldn't keep their libidos in check long enough to actually bring this case against Donald Trump. It's a repeat of what was happening in January 6th up in the case with Judge Chutkan, who loathes Trump and has sentenced almost every J6 defendant to way more jail time than their counterparts would get. Those are falling apart because of presidential immunity, which was handed down by the Supreme Court, who said you cannot bring a criminal case against a sitting president for any official act. Those cases have been gutted. Also a Supreme Court ruling saying the same on January 6 defendants in general. And that leaves us with Florida and the documents. And Trump has torn that apart because Jack Smith wasn't properly appointed and isn't the right counsel. But there are other issues. They haven't even gotten to presidential immunity there. And so that one's going nowhere as well. And by the way, they're going to appeal it up to the 11th Circuit. It out. The 11th Circuit is conservative, and thank God so is the current Supreme Court. They're not going to tolerate that nonsense.
Let me ask you about...
I think Jay Cal just lost his right to ever bring up lawfare again. We're done with your bullshit. It's over.
We're not here to hear my opinion.
We definitely are not here to hear your opinion. It didn't work, folks. This guy trying to throw some shade on Donald Trump about legality, and he doesn't realize he's dealing with one of the best lawyers, best investigative reporters we've got out there, Megyn Kelly. Many props to this lady. I didn't always like some of the questions she's asked Trump at the debate in the past. I thought she was kind of a nasty person, but the more I watched her show, I realized she just speaks her mind. And she likes throwing the hardball questions at everybody because she wants better from everybody. She wants transparency from everybody, and I respect her for that. She's actually one of the best we've got out there. Julie Kelly, Megyn Kelly. We got so many, Miranda Devine. We've got a lot of them out there that are just really doing some great work, investigative work, and fighting back this against this censorship regime, this lying mainstream media. This lady here, Megyn Kelly, has got more subscribers, more viewers on YouTube and Rumble and Twitter and Facebook, probably combined more viewers and viewership than I would say NBC, CBS, and CNN. This lady gets millions of views on her videos, and it's because she's very smart, knows her shit, and she's not somebody you want to argue law with because you will lose every time. And she just proved it. That was definitely a mic drop moment. I thought that was great. I had to share
that. We look at the 5 cases, 6 months from now.
Yeah, she just put that 5 case thing to bed. That was totally brutal. All right, folks, let's get back to it here. Had one more I think I want to bring to y'all. A couple more I want to bring to y'all today. Now, this here is something I didn't realize, but I've just found out recently. This is going on.
Dana is well lit as the host with...
This is how far the lying media is willing to go to try to make you look worse, even if they do it in a subliminal, nonchalant kind of way, to where it still affects you, but you don't even realize why. Just like if you was watching a movie in black and white that you've seen in color before, it just wouldn't be as good because you've already seen it in color. It's kind of the same thing. It's kind of like when they did them weight loss photos for selling NutraSweet or whatever the weight loss remedy of the week was. They'd have somebody in the heavy set in the picture, in the first picture, maybe sitting down, eating food, just something really kind of negative looking picture, slouched over, dimmer looking light, maybe even gray photograph, black and white photograph. Then the next picture, woman standing up, posing at a 45-degree angle so she looks slimmer. She's got a happy expression on her face, and she looks so much healthier just because it's the lighting in the room on the second photograph. Just the contrast is huge. And I didn't think a lot about it, but obviously they're doing this to Trump and JD Vance as well, changing the lighting, and it's subtle, but it's just another way of trying to, I guess, artificially, subliminalize somebody's thought process to realize they don't want Trump and Vance to look flashy in a good way, and that's the problem here. Watch, folks. This is interesting.
Catch lights that are showing prominently throughout the entirety of the interview. You could see a couple of different light sources reflecting in her eye, which is a bit of a cheat code when you want to make someone look great. The more intricate that you can get with the number of shapes and different catch lights that you can get to show up in the eyes, it will likely end up making the person look that much more interesting and flattering. JD, who is sitting close to Dana, somehow didn't get the same quality of lighting. The whites of his eyes, they kind of appear dark, and you could faintly see a small point light source that's showing up in his eyes, but it's nowhere near as bright or as interesting or as good as the one that Dana has. At certain points of the interview, when JD has his chin up a little tiny bit more, you could see his eyes catching more of the light in the room, but he has dark shadows being thrown into his eye socket, which still leads to this kind of menacing, foreboding look. On a separate interview, Dana sat down with Vice President Harris and her running mate Tim Walz, and you could hopefully see the differences at this point with how they are both lit. We could see the whites of both candidates' eyes pretty well, with catch lights being easy to spot throughout the entirety of the interview. If you take a still frame from each interview and you compare them, putting aside your specific thoughts on their policies or who these people are, you might be able to see what the lighting is saying in this environment.
Pretty fishy stuff there, folks. I don't know what to think about that, but it's probably true. I see the difference. It's not a huge difference, but every little detail does count when you're in front of the camera. There's no doubt about it. Even as far as how much weight, how heavy you look, if your expression on if they get your better side, if the lighting is in your face versus shining at a bad angle, giving you maybe dark circles under your eyes or not showing the whites of your eyes. All these little things do make a difference. Me on my channel, I don't give a shit. As long as I can see, I'm good. Apologize, but sometimes my eyes are a little red. Sometimes they're a little watery. Sometimes they're a little blurry, and I got to wear my goggles. Truth be known, it ain't about the eyes, but it is about the appearance when you're running for president and vice president, and what they're doing, their tactics are shitty. Just my opinion, folks. But I wanted to read y'all one thing here, and it's a little bit of a long read. If you're sticking around to this point in the show, I do want to thank you. And this here, I'll try to go through this as quick as possible. This is just to let you know why we're not going to vote for Kamala Harris if you're still on the fence. If you're one of these crazy on the fence kind of people, please listen. If you're not, please listen anyway. You may find out they've lied about some things you didn't realize was a lie. I was shocked about a couple of them myself. Says the Democrats lied to you about Charlottesville, the bloodbath. You know, the Charlottesville was the Trump fine folks on both sides clip The bloodbath was about the economy. They lied about the bloodbath. They lied about Project 2025. That's not Trump's project. His is Agenda 47. We know. They lied to you about the abortion ban. It sends it back to the states, not actually banning abortion. So they're using shitty terminology, rewording it for their narrative. They lied to you about the border and the border bill. They lied to you about Russia. They lied to you about the perfect phone call. They lied to you about the EV mandate. They lied to you about the kangaroo courts, J6 court. They lied to you about J6. They lied to you with that track record. Why would you trust anything they had to say? Their candidate is right now lying about her positions. I wonder what positions those are. All right, let me scroll down. It says they are right now lying to you about almost everything. Again, why do you trust them on anything? Is your hate for one man large enough to ignore all these lies? Is your hate for one man large enough to continue to pretend that things are going well? Do you hate Orange Man more than you love your children? Will you give your children that crappy life to satisfy your hate for one man? Are you prepared to send your kids to war or possibly die because of your hate for one man? Your hate for your hate for Orange Man has been carefully constructed with Dems and the media to blind you of everything else. There it is. They have worked on that construction for 8 years now using an Orwellian 2 minutes of hate campaign. They have done all of that day in and day out for one simple reason: to control you, to retain their power and money. They don't care about you or yours. They don't care about about the country. They don't care about all they care about is power and money. So they will continue to live their lives, perverted lives, free of consequences. Say say what you want about the Orange Man, but the record of his last term showed our life was better under his leadership. That everyone benefited from his term. Inflation was lower, crime was down, the border was more secure, refugees weren't flowing into small towns, the world was more peaceful, unemployment was low, jobs were plentiful, energy was cheap, censorship wasn't a policy of the government, protesters weren't being locked up for disagreeing with the government. Our enemies respected us. Our friends started to pay their fair share. Drug deaths were coming down. Women were better off in so many ways. Life was better with Trump in the Oval Office. To go to go forward, we must go back and correct the wrongs of the Harris Biden administration because of the path they have they have literally is a literal dead end. Harris and Biden and the staff behind them have been terrible stewards of this country. That's a fucking fact. They don't deserve another 4 years to finish us off. Harris, Biden, and the staff behind them have been terrible stewards of this country. Oh, I already read that. Apologize. Time to put our big boy pants on, reject the lies, and see the truth. We cannot survive another 4 years with people who hate the foundations of this country, like free speech, our right to bear arms, our right to privacy, who hates the very concept of our government of the people, by the people, for the people, who seeks such a government perish from the earth. We just cannot afford 4 more years of this hell with Harris Biden administration, Harris Walz administration, and the people controlling them have created. We just cannot afford it. Economy, culturally, morally, spiritually, we just cannot afford it. Ask yourself one question. If it was anyone else besides Trump on the ticket with the same policies he champions, would you still vote for Harris? If the answer is no, that should tell you that something about your level of success of the other 2 minutes of hate campaign. Reject the programming and vote your self interest. Vote for a better economy, a more peaceful world, a secure border. Vote for a life we had, not the hell we have. I heard a lady the other day on another video say, you don't have to like Trump, just if you hate him and you know he's the best thing for the country with our two choices. She said, hold your nose and go in and vote for him and get over it. She said, the country needs your vote. That lady was right. And she's a Democrat. She'll be voting for Trump this time. And I just glad to see, like to see testimonials like that and read things out to y'all like this, just to let you know that the lies of the Democrat are no longer a secret. Uh, the truth is here too. The public now have the option to see. If they just open their eyes, we're dealing with a spiritual war here between good and evil. It's not that all these politicians are bad people. It's there is some kind of evil entity, and I believe it comes from greed and power, derision of greed and power that some of these people have succumbed to, and I think it's just taking a grasp on so much of our government, so much of our lives because of it, that we need to break free. And if it takes somebody like Donald Trump and Jesus Christ to fix it, that's what it will be, and that's what we need. That's why we need to vote and pray each and every day to get our country back, folks, because this ain't good. But good news is I think we're doing great. Poll numbers say Trump's going to win 60 something percent in the poly market. If you don't know what the poly market is, that's the betting on who's going to win the next race, betting on all kinds of things political. Go check it out, poly markets, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But the poly markets in Vegas say Trump is going to win 61, 62% of the vote, or by 61, 62% of the electoral votes. Like, subscribe, and share to Voted Patriots. Everybody have a great day. Over and out.